everyone, today I am going to dictate you the passage number 19 of the modern volume first. 5 seconds to go. Madam Speaker, I welcome this discussion on education and uniform pattern of education brought forward by my esteemed and learned colleague. I also welcome the young team in the Ministry of Human Resource Development led by the Honorable Minister, who is an engineer and trained MBA from the United States. First of all, I would urge them that let them give up the legalistic approach of his predecessor, Shri Kapil Sibal. Shri Kapil Sibal is a brilliant lawyer and he thought that he could change education by bringing in laws. But most of the laws which were brought by him in Parliament have not been passed in the last 3 years. That is not the way to change education. Sir, education cannot be controlled from the center and it has to be essentially administered by the state. The center can help in advising them. The UPA government said that they would abolish exams up to class 10, but ultimately they were able to abolish exams only for CBSE and the class 10 exams remained everywhere. I would request the new minister to adopt a policy of consensus with the states. He should, through the Central Advisory Board on Education, bring about a consensus and then carry out a change. He should not be in a hurry to suddenly change education in the country. Briefly, I would say that in the first 3 decades of independence, we followed a wrong policy on education. We built up an inverted pyramid. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was responsible for building the IITs and the national laboratories, but the primary education remained neglected in that period. It was Shri Rajiv Gandhi who for the first time thought anew about education and brought about a new national education policy. He started the National Literacy Mission for removing illiteracy and also started the pace-setting Navodaya Vidyalayas in each district. I think it was a big initiative on his part. In the 90s, 2 important initiatives were taken to bring back dropouts into the primary school. One of them was by the UPA government by introducing midday meal, and the second was by the NDA government by introducing Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. There is no doubt that the money from Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan has at least contributed to building 1 classroom and 1 toilet in all the primary schools of the country. Now it is time to give the educational structure a pyramidal structure with a broad base. It must benefit every boy and girl of this country. We have given them the right to education, but it must also taper to an apex. Higher education is not for everyone and it should be limited. I have taught education in an undergraduate college for 35 years. I was a teacher of science. At the end of it, I feel it was an exercise in futility. Only a few students went into post graduation and may be into teaching. The others whom I taught are medical representatives, clerks in government offices, and so on. All their education was lost. The education must keep in touch with the job needs. We must make people fit for jobs and it must be related to their lives. I have seen that just for the sake of prestige, we have established colleges in remote villages. There are paddy fields all round, and we are teaching them Shakespeare. It has no meaning to them. Maybe you need an agricultural college there, but colleges are mushrooming. There are 33,000 colleges in the country. The education that we give does not make them fit for jobs. It is time to urgently look into total vocationalization of education starting from class 8. In no advanced country of the world, normal students go for studies after class 10. In our country, people go to colleges because there are no jobs. So, they spend their time in the colleges. If they have proper jobs, they would not go to colleges. Lastly, I want to say that education is for knowledge and is for developing skills. As my predecessor correctly mentioned, English is a skill that we ought to acquire. We have talked much about teaching in mother tongue. I do not object to it. I will be happy to learn. But having studied in an English medium school, I feel that I am at an unfair advantage as compared to the poor people. Why do we deprive the poor students of this advantage of learning and knowing English well? In Kolkata, today, most of the government primary schools have no students because even a rickshawala prefers to send his child to a school which teaches English. This is the need of the hour. So, how can you really dispense with English? We must free education from our old concepts. Thank you.